Hey, what's up? Welcome back, guys. It's Hat and Beard, and you're here for the second installment of our three-part series, what the Detroit Lions will be doing with the 6th overall pick. In our previous segment, we talked about what we would do if the Lions sat tight at 6 and seen where things fell and taken the best player available. I gave you 3 possible positions that we could target. In this video, we're going to be discussing the second option, my least favorite of the 3 possible routes we can go, and that is to trade up to go after one player in specific. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Detroit!
Hey guys, in case you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below with what you think the Lions should do with the 6th overall pick. Hey guys, this video is going to be a little bit shorter than normal. As I told you in the previous video, I'm on vacation this whole week. I had planned on doing all kinds of projects in the yard, but weather had other options for me, and today was the first day I was actually able to get out there and do anything worthwhile. Hopefully we can really cram a week's worth of stuff into a last couple days here of vacation. But that's not what we're here to talk about. The draft's right around the corner, and I want to discuss with you our second option, and that is trading up to go after a very specific player. There's only one player in this draft that I'm willing to target to trade up for, and there's only one scenario where it works out. That one player is Will Anderson, and the only way that it works out is if he makes it past Houston at 2. If I were a betting man, I would say that DeMeco Ryans pulls the trigger on Will Anderson and takes him at 2. I've laid this out before in my Rise of the Player Coach video. If you look at a strong foundation of a team like Tennessee, like what we're building here in Detroit, and ideally here coming up with Houston, drafting a quarterback to change your franchise can work, but can also go very, very badly for you. And if DeMeco Ryans wanted to follow the blueprint laid out before him by successful coaches like Mike Vrabel and MCDC, then you'd go and you'd bring in a veteran quarterback, or use, I guess, Davis Mills as your veteran quarterback in this situation. And you want to build a strong foundation with explosive defensive players, or in Brad Holmes' case, offensive line players. So in the event that Will Anderson somehow makes it past Houston, and Houston's brass gets what they want, and they go ahead and they take like CJ Stroud or Bryce Young or whomever of those two doesn't go number 1 overall. Maybe even they go after mayonnaise in his coffee man, Will Levis. I highly doubt it. We're not here to talk about Houston, though. They pass on Will Anderson, and he's still available at 3. Arizona should do the smart thing and take Will Anderson. He's a dynamic player, and name me one linebacker on Arizona's defense. I'll wait. Better yet, outside of Budda Baker, name me one player on Arizona's defense. So the Cardinals should do the smart thing. They should do the smart thing and take a Will Anderson. That would be the logical choice. They're the only people I think that we have a legitimate chance of trading up to number 3 with. And that's going to take a lot to make a move from 6 to 3 in this year's draft. There's a lot of players available that you could just sit tight at 6 and wait. You could trade out of 6 and pick more players later on with more draft capital. But if you're going to try and trade with Arizona, it's going to cost an arm and a leg. You're either going to have to give up both of your first-round picks, which I'm not willing to do. I'm sorry, I don't think Will Anderson's that good, and there are other players available that we can take at 6 and 18 that will surpass the value of just Will Anderson at 3. So you're going to have to at least give up 6 and some collateral. So you're talking the 6th overall pick and then maybe one of our second-round picks. Or this is something that I just kind of was thinking about while I was cutting down this tree earlier today. What if we package J-Mo and the number 6th overall pick and throw in like a 5th rounder? I'm not hype about it, and as I stated before, this is my least favorite scenario to go. I do not want to see us being aggressive and trading up because it's going to cost too much. But if we were to do it, knowing that Jameson Williams has had some off-the-field issues this past season, knowing that last year he barely saw the field due to injury, and that he's kind of trending in the negative right now, and knowing that Arizona needs some wide receiver help, especially a young wide receiver on a rookie scale contract, would it not be at least somewhat feasible for us to entertain the thought of Brad Holmes just moving completely on from the J-Mo situation, packaging the 6th pick, J-Mo, and like I say, a 4th or maybe the 5th round pick we got for Jeff Brokuda? Maybe we package that all together to move up to 3, but I'm not willing to give the 6 and the 18. That's just ridiculous. And honestly, I'm not really willing to give JMO up. That's just really the only bargaining chip we maybe have, and I don't even think that's that strong of a bargaining chip, because he's, regardless of what team he's on, he's going to be suspended for the first 6 weeks of the season. And honestly, I think there's enough upside to JMO, and as I've expressed in my video earlier this week, I think that we have all of the tools inside of Allen Park to help correct the career trajectory that JMO's on, and kind of balance him out a little bit, calm everything down, and then allow him to ascend to that elite level wide receiver that we all know he can be. Is that something that I'd really want to trade and get rid of and see him flourish in, say, Arizona? No, that's not what I want to see happen. But is it possible? Weirder things have happened, right? I mean, we did manage to move up from 32 to 12 to draft JMO. And that was nuts. That was nuts, man. But with that being said, I have to reiterate that the only situation that I could see us possibly even consider trading up to 3 is if Will Anderson slips past Houston at 2. And again, that is an awful lot of capital to trade up to get for, and I'm just not willing to. At 6, you could get Tyree Wilson, Peter Skoronski, Devin Witherspoon. I've laid them all out for you before. And then at 18, you can get a equally as talented player. Not a Will Anderson, but I'd rather take... Will Anderson is an A+++ player, right? He's an A+ player. Easily the best defensive player in the draft outside of Jalen Carter when Jalen Carter's on. When Jalen Carter's elite, Jalen Carter's elite. I'm not willing to take on that mess, though. I wouldn't, though. I don't like him enough to sacrifice or to give up a A+ grade for Will Anderson and miss out on 2 A grades with, say, a Tyree Wilson and a Joey Porter Jr. I'd rather take 2 A's than an A+. Do you get what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Right on. I don't know, guys. This is not something that I put a lot of thought into because I just don't think it's the right move. I don't see any validity behind it. I don't think that Brad Holmes, who has shown in the past that he likes to have a lot of draft capital, is going to be willing to give up the amount of draft capital or smaller draft capital and a player unfortunately like a JMO. I don't think that is in the wheelhouse. I don't think Brad Holmes is going to make that type of a maneuver. I just don't think that's the right move. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. I know this is a much shorter video. Again, I've been doing a bunch of stuff trying to cram all of the vacation work into just the last couple of days here. Also, the draft coming up tomorrow. My head's been kind of elsewhere. Let me know what you guys think. Should we trade up to go after a Will Anderson if he makes it past Houston? Does he even make it past Houston? Does Houston pull the trigger and take Will Anderson at 2, leaving us with our dick in our hand sitting at 6, hoping to possibly trade out? But we'll talk about that in the next video. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. I hope you like the little series we got going on here. It's just a short couple of videos leading up to the draft. Have a good rest of your night. Enjoy the week, fellas. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Get out of here.
Time to 23 skidoo. Or should I say 69 skidoo?
She said that my pornos were boring.